Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Brzezzi, owner of the Closet Factory, and welcome to today's episode of Operation Reorganization. Well, it's almost Father's Day, so we would like to talk about man caves and garages. And here at Closet Factory, we do a lot of garages and man caves, and we think it's really something for you to be excited about. Everyone knows how men appreciate the garages and the man caves, and of course the ladies like to get the men out of the house. So it's a win-win for everybody. And at Closet Factory, we do a great job of organizing both of those spaces, be it a garage that's turned into a man cave or a room that's specifically set up for the gentleman. And of course, garages are one of the things we specialize in. So if you're like most people, your garage can be a source of embarrassment because you throw everything in there. It's a catch-all space. But when we come in, we provide storage for everything in there. We've even had clients say that they leave their garage doors open now so everybody can come by and see how organized their garages are. So today we have a really exciting episode for you. Jacinta has created a nice garage for our client, and she will take you through that. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello, I'm Jacinta here on just a beautiful, bright, sunny day at the Kuehl residence, about to do a reveal of the garage. This is a property that was built by Stephen Alexander, and the couple actually wanted to be able to get organization in the closets and pantries and in the garage prior to moving into the home. So this was one of those opportunities where we were able to get in on the front end and really help the client out. So then when they moved in, there was already, a place to put things. This is a family of 5. The couple has 3 very active boys, and they play all kinds of sports and do all kinds of outdoor activities. So they have lots of things that they needed to be able to store in a way that would be, easy to see and easy to get to. The previous garage was packed, to the hilt, and he expressed to me their frustration, with it being so difficult to really find things and store things. So we wanted to really maximize, the space in this garage. So I'm really excited about how this space turned out. The neighborhood still has homes, being built and being constructed, but they have closed on the home now and have actually moved in. So we're gonna go check it out. Wow, this is awesome. I am really excited that they were able to take advantage of every single thing we designed in this 12-foot tall garage. They are now all moved in, as you can see, and I am just really excited about the fact that, all the time that we took on the front end, paying attention to the details of what they were really going to need, that we actually made good choices. It's important even in new construction when you don't have the actual inventory in front of you to still ask the clients lots of questions. And Sean was great because he wasn't afraid of all of my detailed questions, and he even offered pictures of their previous garage, which was tremendously helpful because he emailed them to me. So while I was designing, I was able to really take a look at everything that they had in their other garage. So let's go take a tour of all the different zones in the Kuehl garage. And it sounds like there's an excited dog in the neighborhood as well. So the first zone we have is for the shoes. And this area works perfectly because of where it's located. It's near both doors to the garage. So whether they're coming in this door or coming in the main garage door, or right before they're heading into the house, they can stop here, take off their shoes, put them on the shelves, and that way they're not on a pile on the floor, right at the bottom of the stairs, which is what typically happens in a lot of homes. Now let's head this way. This is really cute, where they've got a place for all their hats. And here, this zone, we started with what we call handy wall. And this is becoming one of my favorite, products in a garage, especially with them, with all of the activities that they do sports-wise. It's great. The handy wall has gotten so creative with all the hooks and accessories that they have. Like you can see here, there are shelves that hang, on the handy wall, and you can position them wherever you want them, space them further apart or closer together. This is awesome here. So this is a bag that's great for all of the sports balls. So the balls aren't rolling around free floating on the floor. You don't have to worry about anybody tripping over one of them and twisting an ankle. Then we've got just versatility. So these hooks are about 6 to 8 inches long, and you can put all sorts of things on them. They've chosen to use them for bags, which is great. And then the beauty is you can even go, as tall as you can and store the things that you don't use maybe that often. So as you can see, this expands the entire back wall of the garage. So you're utilizing all of this space, horizontally as well as vertically, until we get to the cabinets. And that's what this zone is for. So this zone is called the no clutter zone. I like to call it that, because this is where we've got 18-inch deep cabinets right here that you can just hide all types of stuff, behind the doors. You've got nice tall doors, to utilize the height of the ceiling. And then I still kept it about 2 feet, and they've even got things that they can store, up there. So the things that they don't have to get to that often. But this is just great. And then we even have some really cool drawers. Sean was excited about these. And I see they still have some room to go. So they still have some space where they can store in here. So the deep drawers with the Accurite slides that, are very heavy duty. And they chose the finish here, which was called Folkstone Gray. This is one that I tend to recommend pretty often to people because, one, it really went with the aesthetics of this particular home. This Stephen Alexander home, all throughout, when you even saw from the outside of the house, to the inside, has lots of whites and light grays and things of that nature. So it went aesthetically, with the rest of the home. The other good thing about this color is, unlike white or black, it doesn't show a lot of dust. So the gray is kind of like right in between. So it works really well with hiding the typical dust and things that come up in a garage. And then, and we've also got really cool hardware. Hayfla is who we utilize that creates the leveler legs. We use those in garages because every garage is built with a slant purposely, so that any water or liquid from cars or floods or rain or whatever would drain away, from the home. But of course you can install cabinets on a slanted floor. So the legs work great to be able to make sure all the cabinets are level. We chose the slightly higher legs. This is like a 6 to 7 inch stretch, so that it leaves enough room to also easily clean under the cabinet. Now we come to the sports zone. So here we chose to create cubbies, and I utilized this area in particular because I knew you wouldn't be able to use doors effectively here because of the garage door and the rails that we have for the garage. So I stepped these back, you can see a couple of inches. These are more like 14 to 16 inches deep. So it's still a nice depth. It avoids, hitting the garage door, the garage rails, but we still went with the same height so that you've got open shelving. And then here, it's almost like a locker, if you will, without a door. So you've got some heavy duty hooks here where the boys can hang all of their sports bags. All right, so we've got this space covered, but there is one more space to check out. There's actually another tiny garage at this home that we set up specifically for Sean. Let's go look.
I'd like to talk for just a second about personal space. We're all spending more time at home these days, and personal space has become more important. A place where you can go, feel comfortable, feel relaxed, feel like it's yours alone. Jacinta's going to tell us more about that.
Hi, I'm Jacinta with Closet Factory, and I'm here in my office space now, working from home, like so many of us are now in the world today. We're dealing with unprecedented times, of course, and More people are working from home, spending time at home than ever before. And so we are having to deal with and create what's called, I guess, a new norm. We're starting to hear and use new verbiage like social distancing and things of that nature. And the Closet Factory actually has been in a position, where we have been able to be of help, to people, because home organization is what we specialize in. Now people are having to work from home, having to teach their kids, school from home, and as well as the everyday activities of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and so on and so forth. And so we've been getting calls because more and more people are realizing that, okay, I am going crazy. There's just way too much commotion and I can't find things, or I'm not organized. And even science has proven that, we are much more peaceful. We are much more productive even when we are living in a space that is organized and everything is much more efficient. So it's been interesting. As you can see, my desk is full with paperwork and folders and, of clients that have called us and wanted help, to help be organized at this time in their home. And so, personal space is important. Personal space can be a variety of things. Anywhere where an individual usually spends time doing something personal to them, doing something very creative. We've heard a lot of times garages referred to as man caves, or the room over the garage, creating into the man caves. We've even heard terminology nowadays with the she shed, which is a tongue twister, as you can see, where women like to come, and spend their personal time, whether it's a craft space or time, an office area that maybe is also a craft room or a place for them to sew. And I even had a client once who liked to create glass. She had lots of glass artwork that she did. So in her garage, we, in just a little corner, created a little space for her to do her glass. She had a tabletop set up for all the tools that she needed, and we had special rollout trays, just for her, storing all the glass and the supplies and things like that. And she had a craft room, as well. You even nowadays with the families, everybody being at home, you need separate areas. Like maybe we need like a little bench seat area or a nook where the kids can go and have reading time, where they're off to themselves while parents are trying to get some work done. And so we do things like built-in window seats that create a ton of space and create a whole nother little area, for you to spend some personal time, where it may have just been avoided space before, which is now becomes a lot more usable. Whether you're having to work from an office, and just even the fact that you're at home for time, hours and hours on end, if your closet isn't organized, if your pantry isn't organized, if your office space that maybe you only just paid bills at before, but now you have to actually, work with clients. That happened to me. We're actually doing more of our interaction even with our clients virtually right now. So I had to make sure that my new space, because I've actually moved into a new home recently, it's been about a month or so, and I've had to think about that when setting up, my new office. And it's really important now for the family as a whole, to have different zones or different spaces that they can go to. Because as we know, people were used to not spending hours and hours upon time, with each other. The kids were used to being at school for the majority of the day, but now everything's taken place under one roof. So it's even that much more important that your home is pleasant, to be in, and is conducive for the new lifestyle that we're all having to get used to.
Did you know that being organized is a big part of being prepared for a disaster? Disaster preparedness is Cheryl Nelson's expertise. You might have seen her on a recent episode of Operation Reorganization, where we transformed her closet. And now she can tell us about how important, how critical being organized really is to being prepared for a disaster.
Hi Hi, I'm Cheryl Nelson. I am a preparedness and lifestyle expert, meteorologist, and also disaster preparedness expert. Disaster preparedness really means preparing for the unknown, being ready for anything. It means having your disaster prep kit ready to go on standby, having a family communicated plan, and just knowing what the risks are in your area. Being organized is so important in general, for one, because it lowers stress and anxiety. And when it comes to being in a crisis or a natural disaster, I mean, if there's a tornado warning, for example, you got to make sure you know where that to-go kit is. You don't want to be running around trying to find stuff. I mean, you got to have your NOAA weather radio. You want to make sure you have something to protect your head with, like a helmet. And you need to grab all that stuff, get your pets and carriers, your kids, everybody, and run into your safe room during a tornado warning, for example. Disaster preparedness is very unique, and when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is what we call a slow disaster, and it's something that's very different than a hurricane, for example. A hurricane, you see it coming, it hits, you have the recovery period, and then it's gone. Whereas COVID-19, we don't know how long this disaster is going to last. So when it comes to being prepared, it doesn't mean going out and hoarding things like toilet paper. It means that hopefully you already had your disaster preparedness kit and you have necessities that you need to survive. And then you go out safely when you can to get more of these supplies. So when it comes to having an organized space and having a disaster preparedness kit, you want to make sure, A, you have an inventory of what's in that kit, and B, you can see what's in the kit and you know how to get it, where to find it. So the perfect place to put a disaster preparedness kit, for example, would be maybe in a garage or even a closet, and then have your shelves stacked up and have the items in places where you know. You could even label certain sections so you know where to find stuff, like the bottled water, the non-perishable foods. All that stuff is so important, and if you ever have to evacuate, for example, everything is right there at your fingertips and you don't have to go scrambling around. Closet Factory could really come in handy when it comes to organizing something like your garage, your closet, even your pantry. Because again, Closet Factory, it takes all of the things that you have and it makes it so organized. So you've got shelving, you've got closet bars if you need to hang stuff. And it's so neat and it's so easy to find things. And trust me, it's unlike anything that I could build myself. It's great to leave that type of organization to the professionals because they know exactly what you're looking for based on a conversation, and then they come up with a design and construct everything exactly how you want it. So if you want to do something right now to be better organized, ask yourself, do I have one of those junk drawers in the house somewhere? You probably do. I'll admit I have one, and have I cleaned it? No, I just grab the keys, I get my gum, whatever I need out of there, and I just close it and forget about it until I open it the next time. But if you want to relieve some stress, open it up, take everything out, go through it, probably trash a lot of the things, and then start to put things in nicely. Get a little organizer, put that in there. Everything has its own little compartment. And then you're gonna feel so much better when you open that drawer and see what you need and grab it. So when it comes to disaster preparedness and being ready for a disaster, certain areas like the garage, you can easily have a disaster preparedness kit in there. And then inside as well, your bathroom cabinets. Are they a mess? Can you find stuff? That bathroom closet, that's another place where you can easily have first aid kit, medication, bandages, anything that you need. It could be so easy if you just take a step back and start to get organized. So that's one thing I ask you to do. Just walk around your house, look at the spaces. Do you have a space that you'd like to transform? Make it so you feel better and you find things much easier. I'm sure everybody could find something in a house. And that's what I specialize in as Prepare with Share. That's my company. I help people get prepared and feel better about life and relieve some of that stress.
I've actually got a surprise for you. There's actually another space. There's a small garage that we kind of did specifically for Sean. So here we have the second garage. So even though it's smaller, it is perfect for the golf carts and for all the yard, tools and the work tools and things of that nature. It is a great utilization of space, and is very smart on behalf of the builder to even create a second space like this. As you can see, we've got areas for the tools. So whenever he's doing work projects or tool projects, Sean had a work table, bench, and also a tools, case here that he really loved, that he brought with him. And so we just kind of designed cabinetry above it to be able to store the things that he would need when he's working here on his work surface or his workbench. We even, made sure we kept space on the floor, so we didn't do tall cabinets here because we knew he was going to need to store things like, of course, the lawnmower and things of this nature for the floor. But we've still got tons of storage in the upper cabinets above hand, for extra cleaning supplies, lawn supplies. There's bug treatments. They've even got a pool that they've got to maintain. So there's probably, supplies for that can be stored in here. And then of course the back wall, we've got more of the awesome handy wall that allows for us to get things up off the floor and be very easily accessible with the heavy duty hooks. It's a great space. I'm excited about how it all turned out and really glad that we took the time and effort on the front end, to really lay it out and look at their inventory. And so now everything that they have has a place, and they can be happy. I know Sean is happy. So all in all, they ended up with two really great spaces. This one is great for dads and would be a perfect Father's Day gift. But all in all, I think they're happy, and I'm excited about how it all turned out. And so now we're on to the next space.
So there you have it, another exciting episode of Operation Reorganization, and we hope you've enjoyed it.